Welcome to the Global War Watch Network. Today, we are talking about a piece of technology that feels like it's been ripped straight out of science fiction, but it's very, very real. I'm talking about Israel's Iron Beam. It's the world's first operational, high-energy laser, and it promises to completely change the game of air defense. But there's a huge question we need to tackle.
So, is Iron Beam really the revolution everyone hopes it is, or does it have a fatal flaw hidden in plain sight? That is the central question we're going to explore today as we break down the incredible promise and the very real perils of this amazing new technology. Okay, so first things first, let's follow the money. Because honestly, the biggest reason Iron Beam even exists is pure economics. For years, adversaries have used this strategy called cost imposition warfare. Basically, they throw swarms of cheap rockets at you, knowing your fancy interceptors cost a fortune. They try to bankrupt you. Well, Iron Beam is designed to completely flip that entire strategy on its head.
And when you look at the numbers side by side, you start to see just how staggering this shift is. We're not talking about a little bit of savings here and there. No, this is a fundamental, ground-up revolution in the cost of defending yourself. To really get it, let's just look at the raw figures. $50,000. That's roughly what it costs for a single interceptor missile from the Iron Dome system. Now, that system is proven, it's a workhorse, but that's the price tag for one shot. And now look at this, $2.50. That is the cost of a single Iron Beam shot. It's basically just the electricity bill. You go from 50 grand to less than a cup of coffee. I mean, that right there shows you the economic earthquake we are talking about.
So what does this actually mean? It means a system like Iron Beam just completely vaporizes the enemy's biggest advantage. They can no longer win just by making you go broke trying to stop their cheap rockets. All of a sudden, the defender's magazine is pretty much limitless, as long as you can keep the lights on.
Okay, so it's insanely cheap, but how in the world does it actually work? Let's take a quick look at the science behind turning raw electricity into a literal shield of light.
The process itself is beautifully simple and absolutely brutal. So first, your standard air defense radar picks up a threat. Simple enough. Then, a 100 kilowatt class fiber laser locks on. For the next 3 to 5 seconds, it just pours an incredible amount of heat, thermal energy, into a spot about the size of a coin. It heats the target up so fast that its warhead cooks off or the whole thing is just destroyed from the stress. And here's the kicker. All of this happens at the speed of light.
And the advantages here are just massive. You've got that unlimited magazine we just talked about. Your engagement is instantaneous. The accuracy is so precise that you basically eliminate collateral damage from shrapnel, which is huge in populated areas. And you've got no missiles to store, no munitions to transport. The whole logistical chain just vanishes. But, and this is a big but, it is not a perfect weapon.
Right, and that's where we need to pump the brakes a little bit. For all of its incredible power, Iron Beam faces an enemy that it just can't vaporize, the air itself.
It sounds like such a simple question, doesn't it? But what happens on a cloudy day gets right to the heart of the Achilles heel for all high-energy laser systems right now. The laser might be powerful, but its performance is completely at the mercy of the weather.
You see, any little particles in the atmosphere, we're talking fog, rain, dust, sand, even heavy smoke, they scatter and absorb the laser's energy. It's a phenomenon called atmospheric attenuation. And what it does is slash the beam's effective range and power. Much less energy actually makes it to the target. Think about it like this. It's like you're a kid trying to burn a leaf with a magnifying glass. On a clear, sunny day, it's easy. But try doing it on a foggy day. The fog just scatters the sunlight everywhere, and it's impossible. That's exactly what happens to the laser. It needs a clear line of sight to work, which makes it a fair weather weapon. You still need your old-school missiles for a rainy day.
And the weather isn't the only problem. There's another huge challenge, and it's all about sheer numbers. Modern warfare is increasingly about swarms and saturation attacks, and this is where another hard physical limit kicks in.
See, here's the thing. A missile battery can fire off multiple interceptors at multiple targets all at once. But a single laser system, it can only shoot at one target at a time. It has to focus on that target for what they call dwell time, about 3 to 7 seconds, to guarantee a kill. Well, if an enemy sends 10, 20, or 50 drones at you all at once, that dwell time suddenly becomes a massive vulnerability.
So let's just put the two systems side by side on this problem. Iron Beam has to take out targets one by one by one. Iron Dome, on the other hand, can launch a whole salvo of fire-and-forget missiles to handle several threats at the same time. This means when it comes to those big coordinated attacks, the older kinetic systems are, for now, still the safer bet.
So you've got this incredible game-changing economic advantage on one hand and these really serious physical limitations on the other. So what happens when you put it all together? Well, you get a system that was actually never meant to be a standalone silver bullet. It was always designed to be a new, vital layer in a much bigger shield. To really see its value, you've got to look at the big picture of Israel's entire defense network. It's all about layers. You have the Arrow systems way up high for ballistic missiles, then David's Sling for cruise missiles, then the famous Iron Dome for rockets. Iron Beam slots in right at the very bottom. It creates a brand new point defense layer. Its job is to handle the high volume of cheap stuff, mortars, small drones, freeing up the expensive Iron Dome interceptors to wait for the bigger, tougher threats.
And let's be clear, this isn't just a concept on a drawing board. This is happening right now. The system was first shown off way back in 2014. The first operational system was just delivered to the Israeli Air Force at the end of 2025, and it's officially entering service in early 2026. The plan is to get more of them out there by 2027 and really start working on solving some of those swarm challenges.
So I think the biggest takeaway here is that Iron Beam is not some standalone superweapon. Its real power, its real value comes from how it's integrated into that bigger network.
Exactly. It just makes the whole system smarter and more sustainable. It handles the constant drip, drip, drip of low-end threats that it's perfectly designed for, and that lets the heavy hitters, the missile systems, save their very expensive ammo for when things get really serious.
Which, of course, leaves us with a really fascinating thought to chew on. If the biggest weakness of the laser on the ground is the atmosphere, what happens when you put that laser on a plane, flying above the clouds and the weather? That right there is the next frontier, and it might just be the key to unlocking the true, full potential of this kind of defense.
And that's our breakdown of the Iron Beam system. If you found this analysis valuable, the absolute best way to support what we do here is hit that like button, and of course subscribe to the Global War Watch Network for more explainers just like this one.
But now we really want to hear from you. What do you think? Are airborne lasers the inevitable future, or will this technology always have these niche limitations? Let us know what you think down in the comments, and come join the bigger conversation on our social media channels. You can find all the links for those right in the description. Thanks for joining us.